Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. I am plumbobd and today we are building a diner for my Oasis Springs rebuild series. First of all, I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas or holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. I personally enjoyed a lot spending time with my family and just gathering around the table, and as you probably may know, as Italians we do go quite hard on Christmas. We spend a long time at the table, especially my family. We usually start around noon and we don't get up from the table until like 7 or 8 in the evening. So yeah, we are quite a bit into Christmas, let's say. For today's build, as I said, we are building a diner. If you remember from my last videos, we did build a house for Eliza Pancakes' sister, which in my head she has a diner, and this is her diner. It's not really a down diner, but it's for sure a place where she doesn't pay attention to offering the best quality to their customer. So yeah, it's not gonna be very pretty. The menu, I also put a custom menu, is gonna have very basic plates, dishes, and the staff is not really super fancy in their uniform, but yeah, this is the style I wanted to go for. And I built it in the neighborhood of it's where I always get the name confused. It's not the BFF household, it's the roommates household, the one that is inspired by New Girl. And yeah, I like to sprinkle around some community lots here and there. I didn't really do it for Willow Creek because I just didn't think it fit the vibe. But for Oasis Springs, I feel like we have already many residential lots. Oasis Springs could use with some community lots here and there. And this build actually came together quite, I would say quite quickly. It's only like 20 minutes long. It's not even sped up that much. I think it's only 3 times speed. And I didn't cut out anything from the actual build. Just came together quite quickly. And so yeah, today is a bit shorter of a speed build, but not even so much. Like, as I told you already, I aim at 20 to 25 minutes. This is just under 20 minutes, so it's fine for me. And but yes, so Eliza Pancakes' sister will actually own this restaurant. I already made it apparent in my save file. I told you I usually build townies or create townies on stream on TikTok, but I just wasn't feeling like creating this family on camera, like live. So I just did it in my own time. Yesterday I just opened The Sims and I wasn't feeling like building because I don't know, sometimes you just don't feel like it. And so yeah, I just created a family with a male child, a husband, which I then moved out because we're gonna build a house for him separately because they are divorced. And then I created Eliza Pancakes' sister. Her name, which I'm so excited I can finally stop calling her Eliza Pancakes' sister and just start to call her like with her name. Her name is Anita. And she lives in Oasis Springs. Maybe she moved here, maybe she was originally from here. I'm not really sure what the storyline is. But yeah, so she's materialistic, mean, and also hates children. But maybe she had a child just because she felt some sort of social obligation to have it. But she actually does not like children. I think, yeah, I made her like cooking, cross-stitching, and something else. She's overall quite snobbish. If we could have another extra trait for Sims, she would probably get the snob trait. but I felt like I already gave a lot of my Sims the snob trait. It's usually a trait that I quite like to give my Sims. So for this Sim, I prefer just to give her the hates children trait, which makes it more fun because she has a child and the child is living with her because she, being divorced, she kept all the money and the big house they originally had. And so yeah, it makes sense that the child would live with the mother. In January, the diner is, as I told you, quite run down. It's not really the most updated of restaurants, and I've used quite a lot of dine out, of course. High school years, mainly for the tiles. I went with tiles everywhere because in my head a diner just makes sense having tiles everywhere. So that's what the diner looks like. And yeah, so that's Anita, Eliza Pancakes' sister. The husband, I'm not really sure how he's called. I think Camillo. Sorry, I give them Italian names just to make them fit with my save file, which is in Italian. Sorry about that. And yeah, Camillo is, in my head, he's a yoga instructor, and that makes a lot of sense since we have a spa in Oasis Springs. I built it, I think, a couple of weeks ago. I can put the card of that build here now, as well as the one from Eliza Pancakes' sister house from last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I cannot remember. But yeah, he is a yoga instructor. He probably teaches yoga at the Oasis Springs spa, and his style is quite shabby chic, I would say, and that will be apparent also with his house. On the exterior, I'm gonna make his house not look so nice, but with maybe some modern touches on the inside. Maybe he bought some furniture here and there. Maybe he did get some money from the divorce after all. But yeah, so now we are finishing the interior. As I told you, the exterior came together quite quickly, and the interior is no exception. I just covered the whole place in tiles. I built a quick floor plan just because the restaurants usually don't have that complicated of a floor plan. Just built a bathroom, a kitchen, and I wanted initially to build a staff room, but then I thought maybe putting some seating in the staff room would make the Sims glitch and not really, and you would have Sims sitting in the staff room. That's not really what you want. So I just turned that room into kind of an office. We have some storage, some cabinets that store files. Maybe it's like receipt from the restaurant, invoices, just general documents that every business has. I also tried to change the type of tiles because I felt like the build was getting a little too orange, but then I just kept the tiles that I originally chosen and made the seating blue just for some contrast. But yeah, you can see the tiles in the kitchen and in the staff room are not really the nicest. I used the linoleum from City Living, which is a bit more rundown, and yeah, so that's basically the whole floor plan. This is my first restaurant that I'm building, and I have to say I thought it would be much more difficult, just because I never built one and I didn't know how many requirements or how to make a build look good. But it actually came together quite quickly, especially considering that usually community lots are quite square, so you don't really have a complicated shape, so even roofing came very easy to me. And yeah, so now I'm going around the whole build with not the whole build, like the main room with the high school years LED lights, just because I thought the get to work lights didn't really light up the place enough, so I just put some LED strip lights. I think it makes a lot of sense. Maybe if that's just the light fixtures you have in your business, you would probably try to light it up some other way with, for example, as I put LED lights. And yeah, so this restaurant has plenty of seating. I don't know if I'm actually gonna be playing with this restaurant. I don't know if it actually works properly. I think it should work properly, especially with the Dine Out Reloaded mod from Carl's Sims 4 guides. But yeah, there is a lot of seating, and I'm hoping Sims will be able to route properly. By the way, if you didn't know, Dine Out is probably one of the glitchiest pack in the game, and that's why, even though a lot of simmers do recommend it, they always warn players in that the pack is very, very buggy. It's very hard to play with it. And thankfully, Carl's Sims 4 Guides put out a mod that solves most of the problems with Dine Out, and he even added some extra features, like for example, running a family business, because you as a player, as a family, can be either the chef, the host, the waiter, all of those roles together. You can have your guests sit themselves, get the food themselves, because of course in a lot of restaurants it's not always a full, like, don't want to say luxury experience, but it's more like, where you get welcomed inside the restaurant, then you get seated and the waiter brings the food to you. In some places you just, for example, let's say McDonald's, you just come in, sit yourself, and you order and take the food yourself. Nobody's gonna bring it to the table to you, even though McDonald's actually is starting to do table service lately, but it's not that common. And even other fast food chains, it's just like you do it yourself, and so it makes a lot of sense. With this mod you can also grow your own veggies and use them for the ingredients of your dishes, and that would make your dishes have the same cost, but just like you pay less for the item, and therefore you make much bigger of a profit. Also because it takes into account the quality of the plants, and I don't know, like Carl Sims 4 mods are usually very detailed, very well done. I was hoping his My Wedding Stories Reloaded mod would still be up, but when I went check on his Patreon, he said that this mod is no longer supported because the Sims team did actually fix a lot of the bugs with the patch that came post My Wedding Stories. And well, first it should go without saying that the a pack, when it comes out, it should not be glitchy in any case, but yeah, never mind, it's okay. But anyway, with the patch that came after My Wedding Stories came out, they didn't actually fix that much. I mean, now the pack is playable, but it's very, very glitchy. It's basically like Dine Out. Before, when it first came out, it was really, really unplayable. You could not play that pack. Now you can, the same way you can play Dine Out. So in my head, it would make a lot of sense if Carl would make a mod specifically for My Wedding Stories in order to make it better. And just the routing and the overall efficiency and the AI of the pack is not really good, so a mod would really, really help with it. But I guess he has other plans. For now, he's working on Dine Out, and I think he's doing a great job. I think, in my opinion, EA should actually buy the mod and release the modifications as a pack refresh, the one that also happened with Spa Day. If you don't know, Spa Day used to have I don't want to say a lot less features, but used to be smaller as a pack. They did a refresh, I think, in fall 2021, and they added the ability for your Sims to be a yoga instructor, so they can earn money that way. They added nails, both for hands and feet, so your Sims can go to the spa and get a manicure or pedicure, but they can also give it and earn money that way. They also added 3 new aspirations. They added some extra items, like I think an extra meditation stool, an extra yoga mat, and of course the chairs that you need for the pedicure and manicure. They also made children be able to perform yoga routines. I don't think they can get manicures, but they can in CAS. And for example, the nails, when you do them in CAS, they are gonna stay the same, but when you get a manicure through gameplay, they are gonna break, you're gonna have to do them again or take them off. I think like the idea of pack refreshes is so cool, and my guess as to why EA stopped doing refreshes is because they thought they were gonna sell much more with the Spa Day refresh, but it just did not happen, and so they stopped doing refreshes. But it would be so cool. For example, another pack that needs some big refresh is luxury party stuff. It's an awful pack because it only contains like 12, not even 12, maybe 12 build items, and they are all useless. There is like a buffet table that now comes with My Wedding Stories. There is a glowing cube, some curtains, an ottoman, a bar stool, probably a bar, a weird light, and then all of the cast is just has it is somewhat nice. It depends. It's very context specific, but you could use it. But the textures are just very old Sims, like, you know, those old items in the base game that you can just tell they are very square, very low poly, nothing compared to what is coming out right now. So I think it does need a refresh, that pack, also because of the gameplay. It's really, there's no gameplay in that pack except for the buffet table that we now have in My Wedding Stories, so that makes it completely useless. And not useless in the sense of what I've already said with Perfect Patio, because a lot of simmers say Perfect Patio is now useless because you have a hot tub in the base game. But yeah, the hot tub in the base game is ugly, and honestly I would buy the pack anyway, just because I hate the look of hot tubs now. But yeah, in luxury party stuff is now actually useless, just because the buffet table in My Wedding Stories functions the same, has a much better look, so there is actually really no reason for buying luxury party stuff. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, after going on this whole spiel about Sims 4 packs, let's talk a little bit more about the build, also because we're getting very close to the end. As you can see, I built quite a big dining room in the main room. Then there is like a small hallway that leads to bathrooms and to the kitchen, where servers can take the food from the kitchen. The kitchen is quite small, and there is the staff room I mentioned. And then I built some more tables for the exterior, and we did some, but that we did at the beginning, some landscaping with cars, a bike from the staff room. But yeah, so this was the build. Screenshots should now be rolling. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Also follow me on my other social media. I am plumbobd on TikTok and plumbobd with an underscore on Instagram. And I will catch you all in my next video. Bye!